Holy smokes, it's hot. I don't know what it's like where you live in right now, but my house is a million degrees. I've got a window open right in front of me with barely any humid air coming through, and I'm dying. Oof. All right. Anyways, today's video is going to be a little bit about the iSearch stuff and then a little bit about the math project. So starting with the iSearch stuff, you'll see posted, and this is in the iSearch number 2 progress activity. There's a podcast about the design of an ET video game that the designers you should watch. Think about the mistakes that were made there. And then there's a video of Mr. Gage doing a read aloud of Into Thin Air, one of his favorite narrative nonfiction books. So that's it for today. iSearch wise, either listen to the podcast or listen to Mr. Gage read. You just have that on in the background, and then continue to submit the heat and water stuff from last week and the math stuff from last week, or step 1 for the iSearch if you haven't done it yet. So I think we're moving slowly this week to give people a chance to get caught up. Again, the emails still keep rolling in about the iSearch topics and questions, and I love it. So keep sending those in as well. Okay, so then moving on to math. So this week's math activity, I hope you had a chance to watch the Celebration Florida video. Intentional communities, they're basically places where, as opposed to the neighborhoods I think most of us live in, where whoever lives in your building, on your block, lives in your neighborhood, you get what you get. These are different. It's whether it's organized by philosophical beliefs or religious beliefs or principles about the environment or some sort of economic grouping or like demographic grouping, a bunch of students, people saying, hey, let's get together so we can control more about where we live. And in some of those places, they actually change the physical environment. That's what this week's project is about. So you'll see when you see the project that it is it looks kind of like this. There are 3 circles, and this is the not to scale, the way that they've arranged the land. And this inner ring is shared. This is housing, this middle ring, and then farmland is out here. And you'll see this when you look at the assignment. It might not be a bad idea to have the assignment up as you watch this video. And what you need to do is you need to answer a bunch of questions. So for example, it gives you the information that there is the inner circle has a radius of 400 meters. And then you need to use that information to calculate the circumference of this circle. Because what it also asks is that if there were roads in this environment that were 6 meters wide each, and I think it says there are 8 of them that spur off. Well, each of those roads takes up 6 meters. So it's going to be 6 times 4 meters. And then it asks how many houses can face in on here. So you need to find the circumference. Well, the circumference equals 2 pi r. And you know what r is. R is 400 meters. And you know what pi is? 3.14. So then you're going to need to figure out, okay, now I know what the circumference of this is. I'm going to need to take away the 8 roads. How many 15-meter houses, 15-meter wide houses can I draw on here? Another question on there. If you go down to, if you go down to slide 5, I guess question 6, asks you about the depth. Let me erase a little bit here. Erase these rows. Says if the depth of this land, and again, this is not to scale, if the depth of the housing is 50 meters, then how much area is allocated to housing? How much area is in this thing? Well, what you're going to need to do there is create a new radius, and that radius is going to be the 400 plus the 50. That's going to be a radius of 450. Calculate the entire area, and then you're going to have to subtract out the inner circle to find the remaining area in that ring, and so on and so on. So there's a bunch of application questions, and I'm going to have this due not until next Tuesday. So take your time, post your questions. I would expect that I'll have to do I will do a follow-up video on Friday or Monday. But I think some of you might whip through it, and that's totally fine. But the rest of you, take your time. The due date for this is next Tuesday. A full week. It can be on the back burner if you want to put it off a little bit, and then we'll put the priority to the iSearch. All right. That is today's video. Watch Mr. Gage's read aloud. Listen to the podcast. Drink some water, and do some math. Okay, I will see everybody on Wednesday morning. Reminder, we have 1 p.m. on Wednesday, a design synchronous lecture.